On his promise segment tonight, English in the Texas public schools. Texas Education Code says, quote, English is a basic language of the state. Public schools are responsible for providing a full opportunity for all students to become competent in speaking, reading, writing, and comprehending the English language, unquote. But when the principal of the Hempstead Middle School, a suburb of Houston, encouraged students to use English in the classrooms, she was harshly criticized. And then Amy Lacey did not have her contract renewed. In effect, she was fired. Joining us now in Washington, Laura Ingram, who has been following the stories. How could this happen in Texas, one of the most conservative states in the Union? How could it happen?
I'm surprised, Bill, it doesn't happen, frankly, more often, given the PC thought police crowd that dominates our public school system and really dominates our culture right now. You've documented time and again how there's this red line. We don't really know where the red line is at any given point, but there's a red line that the left will establish and reestablish. Maybe one day it'll be you can't tell people to speak English. The next day it'll be you can't refer to the Washington Redskins as the Washington Redskins. Next day it'll be you can't ever say that bilingual education is a bad thing, right? We don't know where that red line is, but if you cross that movable red line, you will be drummed out of public life, perhaps. You will be terminated. You'll be fired. Right. You'll be harassed. You'll be called all sorts of names. And this is what this poor teacher came up against. She came up against this movable red line where they decided to make an example of her. Don't you dare make us speak English. Don't you dare tell us we must speak English.
It wasn't even making them. Here's how bad this is. Ms. Lacey basically said, look, in the Hempstead Middle School, you have to take tests. Right. The tests are given in English, not Spanish. The national and state tests are given in English. Therefore, I'm encouraging, not mandating, not forcing every student to speak English in the classrooms.
They interpret it, that's an affront to our culture.
Right away,
that's an affront to our country. I meant our country, our homeland. Right. And this is a problem, Bill, that we have with this obsession with diversity, right? We must be diverse. Well, diversity is fine, right? Intellectual diversity, I think, is the most important thing without regard to skin color or background. But the diversity only goes so far, right? You can't actually have a teacher who's trying to communicate in her own way her desire for these students to do better and to succeed. And if you learn English and you're fluent in English, you're going to be more successful in public life, regardless of where you came from or your circumstances.
Here's the worst part of the story. When this woman, the principal, Ms. Lacey, made this suggestion to the students, she was attacked by some students who said, oh, you're violating my rights.
Yeah, they're learning early.
Right.
Yeah.
But there was no counter-protest that we can find to help Miss Lacey. So
Bill,
that the other parents and the other students...
Afraid.
Right.
They're afraid. Bill, they're making us afraid.
Yes. You know, folds like they do almost everywhere.
But Bill, look at this. Look at our congressman on Capitol Hill. They're afraid to say what their own people think. The new Reuters poll, Bill, out today, just out. 70% of Americans, both Democrats and Republicans, it's a bipartisan poll, 70% say that illegal immigration is a threat to our economy, our culture, and our beliefs. 70%. When's the last time you got 70% on any poll, okay? People have a certain view of what's happening to this country. They think their culture is under assault. They're pro-immigrant, but they're not pro what's happening to this country. And yet the politicians are afraid. Parents are afraid to speak out. They don't want to be vilified. I bet board members are afraid of their positions. So we live in this tinderbox kind of style. And that's what their goal is, to shut down debate on this bill.
Well, I was surprised. I got a little Texas tie on tonight. I don't know whether you can see that.
Oh, good for you.
These are little Texas things here.
I see it.
And I was surprised that in this school district, all right, that more people didn't say, you know what? The principal's looking out for the kids. Wants the kids to do better. And the only way they're going to do better is if they become more proficient in the language.
The next principal, Bill, will have to learn. She'll have to be re-educated according to the new red line, the movable red line.
All right.